Jama blamed Aiden for making his mother so angry. He wanted to return to Hargeisa, where his father could calm her down with love songs. It was always at daybreak that Jama craved his father. All his memories were sharper in the clean morning light, his father's laughter and songs around the campfire, the soft, long-fingered hands enveloping his own. Jama couldn't be sure if these were real memories, or just dreams seeping into his waking life, but he cherished these fragile images, hoping that they would not disappear from him like his father had. Jama remembered traversing the desert on strong shoulders, peering down on the world like a prince, but already his father's face was lost to him, hidden behind stubborn clouds. Along the dark spiral steps came the smell of anjaro. The Islawains were having breakfast. Zamzam, a plain teenage girl, used to bring Jama the mealtime scraps. He accepted them for a while, until he heard the boys in the family call him Hashishki, trash can. The Islawains were distant relatives, members of his mother's clan, who had been asked by Ambaro's half-brother to take her in when she arrived alone in Aden. They had done as promised, but it soon became clear that they expected their Bedou cousin to be a servant, cooking, cleaning, and giving them the appearance of gentility. Within a week, Ambaro had found work in a coffee factory, depriving the Islawains of their new status symbol and unleashing the resentment of the family. Ambaro was made to sleep on the roof. She was not allowed to eat with them, unless Mr. Islawain and his wife had guests around. Then they were all smiles and familial generosity. "Oh, Ambaro, what do you mean, can I? What's ours is yours, sister." When Ambaro had saved enough to bring her 6-year-old son to Aden, Mrs. Islawain had fumed at the inconvenience and made a show of checking him for things that could infest or infect her children. Her gold bangles had clanked around as she looked for nits, fleas, skin diseases. She shamelessly pulled up his ma'ahwis to look for worms. Even after Jama had passed her medical exam, she glared at him when he played with her children and whispered to them to not get familiar with this boy from nowhere. 5 years later, Ambaro and Jama still lived like phantoms on the roof, leaving as few traces of their presence as possible. The neatly stacked piles of laundry that Ambaro washed and Jama pegged out to dry were the only banners of their existence to the family. Ambaro left for the coffee factory at dawn and didn't return until dark, leaving Jama to float around the Islawain home, feeling unwelcome, or to stay out in the streets with the market boys. Outside, the sky had brightened to a watery turquoise blue, and Somali men asleep by the roadside began to rouse, their afros full of sand, while Arabs walked hand in hand toward the souk. Jama fell in behind a group of Yemenis wearing large gold-threaded turbans and beautiful ivory-handled daggers in their belts. He ran his hands along the warm flanks of passing camels being led to market, their extravagant eyelashes batting in appreciation at his gentle stroke, and when they overtook him, their swishing tails waved goodbye. Men and boys shuffled past, ferrying vegetables, fruits, breads, meats, in bags, in their hands, on their heads, to and from the market, crusty flatbread tucked under their arms like newspapers hot off the press. Butterflies danced, enjoying their morning flutter before the day turned unbearably hot and they slept it off inside sticky blossoms. Incense lingered on the skin and robes of the Hamals. As they pushed their wheelbarrows through the narrow, potholed alley, each man cocooned in the perfume of his home. Leaning against the warm wall, Jama closed his eyes and imagined curling up in his mother's lap and feeling the reverberations of her songs as they bubbled up from deep within her body. He sensed someone standing over him. A small hand rubbed the top of his head, and he opened his eyes to see Abdi and Shidan grinning down at him. Abdi was the 9-year-old gappy-toothed uncle of 11-year-old gangster Shidan. Abdi held out a chunk of bread, and Jama swallowed it down. The black lava of the Shum volcanoes loomed over them when they reached the beach. Market boys of all different hues, creeds, and languages gathered at the beach to play, bathe, and fight. They were a roll call of infectious diseases, mangled limbs, and deformities. Jama called Shalom to Abraham, a shrunken Jewish boy who used to sell flowers door to door with him. Abraham waved and took a running leap into the water. Shidan's mouth